Time to take a look at the week in business. Amanda Lang joins us right now. Amanda Lang, of course, host of Taking Stock, which is on Friday evenings at 6 o'clock on BNN Bloomberg and, of course, here on the iHeart Radio Network. Amanda, a couple of things. We'll get to Pierre Poilievre in just a minute. I want to start off with the story here because I hadn't seen anything on this all week. The Bank of Canada does a survey and finds that Canadians are overestimating inflation. What does that mean?
So this is a measure of our expectations, Aaron. And the problem here is, of course, the bank has spent a lot of time trying to persuade Canadians that they're serious, they're going to lower inflation, that means higher rates, and they need us to believe it so we change our behavior. That's the whole game. It turns out we may be changing our behavior. We do think rates are going to stay high, but when they surveyed consumers as part of this big outlook they do, they found that we're actually overestimating how sticky inflation is, how long it's going to stay around. And the reasons for that are really psychological. A lot of people are feeling it in their mortgages, and that's a pain point that is regular and real. And then, of course, all of us are feeling it still in prices at the grocery store and elsewhere, where we're just seeing, even though they've come down off the highs, we're still seeing a slight elevation. The interesting part is we think inflation is worse than it is. So will that change our behavior and make, say, a recession worse than it needs to be?
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so when we got those numbers earlier this week at 3.8, I was like, oh, great news. And Aaron was like, whoa, don't get too excited here. So how should we interpret those numbers, and do those numbers generally have an effect on consumer spending?
I love that. Are you guys always glass half full, glass half empty? Is that
yeah, pretty much.
I've kind of been watching this go for so long. I still focus back to that time when Chrystia Freeland, Amanda, was calling a press conference to say, hey, look, inflation came in at 2.8%, like we were going to head there forever. And then here we are again back to 4. So going to 3.8 doesn't seem like very much to me.
It's a start, Aaron. It's a start.
I hear you. But it's trending in the right direction.
Yes.
The internal measures the bank watches also trending in the right direction. A lot of people, economists out there, saw this data and said, okay, the bank's on hold next week. So that's good news. And that could mean that we're at the top, that rates won't go higher, that the next move, whenever that is, maybe next summer, will be down. It could be sooner than next summer, of course. But so the inflation, it looks as though the bank's actions are working. Yes, 3.8 is still way too high, but it is trending in the right direction. Energy prices are soft, so we do expect that the October inflation number will be even softer. So it's good news from that point of view.
Okay. So then let's talk about the other story here. So this is about RBC wanting to take over HSBC, another bank, and Pierre Poilievre jumping in. You think Pierre Poilievre might have learned his lesson with telling us all to use cryptocurrency as our Canadian currency, but apparently not. He's going to weigh in here as well. What's his issue here?
So interesting. The banks are obviously in the sights of politicians on affordability. They're a bit of an easy target because, of course, nobody really loves dealing with their bank and their bank fees and their mortgage payments. Pierre Poilievre is saying, look, if we don't have enough competition, then don't allow another merger. His timing is interesting because just this week, of course, we got a review from the Competition Bureau that is the first of its kind look at whether we have good competition in Canada. And the answer, in summary, is no. Over 20 years, it's gotten worse. Our industries are more concentrated, prices are higher, fewer new businesses start up in various sectors. So it's kind of well timed for Pierre Poilievre to say, well, let's not allow another merger and make even more concentration in banking. It is very political, though, and we should say the RBC-HSBC Canada merger is in process. Regulators are still looking at it. They may well already have decided, they may be deciding to say no. We just don't know yet.
I will ask one other thing. This has been a week filled with, news from banks. You had Scotiabank laying off thousands. You had Desjardins laying off hundreds. Is the bank sector hurting here? Because I saw numbers out of the U.S. this week. They seem to be doing fine there.
Yeah, I mean, the banks are being prudent, I think, and I think they may be doing exactly what the tech companies did, which is winnowing out some of the staff that they laid on when times seemed like they were going to be good forever, and everybody was in a rush to get all the best talent. What you are seeing, interestingly, even as they're doing layoffs, we're also seeing wages go up for existing employees. So it's not a typical slowdown where when you're seeing layoffs, it means, don't ask for a raise. You actually can still ask for a raise. If they think you're good enough to have a job, we're seeing average wage increases, of course, still above 4%. So it's a really weird kind of mixture of things. The banks are trying to shore up their bottom line where they can because, of course, they are feeling the pinch, as is everybody, and they may well see some of their loans go bad as consumers and businesses feel some of this pain here.
Okay, I want to get in this one too. So we're talking about a lack of competition with banks, but that is also true for the grocery sector. And part of the problem way back when was this issue with the bread. And so now the price fixing, that is, Metro is suing Loblaws saying, no, that didn't involve us. What's the story?
It's really interesting, actually. Metro it's a what's called a cross claim, and it's a response to a class action. So a class action is underway. It's a long way from being real, but it's underway, accusing the big chains of colluding on the price of bread. Metro says when George Weston fessed up and said, okay, we did this and started this whole thing, they sort of threw everybody under the bus together as though everybody had been involved. And Metro is saying in their lawsuit, or their cross-suit, no, we weren't involved, and you've disparaged us, and we want it to be clear that we didn't have any part of this. It will all come to light. This long, slow investigation is underway, so we'll find out for sure, but it's definitely interesting optics. Clearly, Metro doesn't want to be tarred with this brush. The consumers are very sensitive, right, about the grocers, and whether it's true or not, we've talked about it before, whether the grocers are somehow making a profit off inflation. So they really want to make sure people don't feel like this kind of thing is going on.
How long ago was the bread story? That's years ago, though, isn't it?
Years and years ago. I'm going to forget the exact date here, but yeah, this is now going back a long, long time. And we did 2007 to 2011 is the range of when this was happening.
And now they're filing a lawsuit.
Because this other lawsuit came more recently. Yeah, it's been dragging on.
Hey, Amanda, you been noticing the price going down for stuff in grocery stores?
I haven't really. Have you?
No, I haven't. Interestingly enough, I'll have to call Francois-Philippe Champagne on that. Amanda Lang. Thank you, Amanda.
Always good to chat.
Have a great weekend.
Likewise.
She's host of Taking Stock on BNN Bloomberg.